Fighter mosquitoes, killer birds and deadly locusts hunting Russians only. With the invasion of Ukraine, Russia began actively spreading conspiracy theories about alleged US-funded secret labs in Ukraine, where biological weapons are being developed. Why are the Russians spreading such horror stories? Let's understand the context. What is a biological weapon? Biological and toxin weapons are either microorganisms like virus, bacteria or fungi, or toxic substances produced by living organisms that are produced and released deliberately to cause disease and death in humans, animals or plants. Because of its indiscriminate nature, biological weapon is considered as dangerous as nuclear and chemical weapons. It is prohibited in 185 countries that have signed the relevant convention. From time to time, Russian propaganda scares us that Ukraine, hand in hand with the US, will use such weapons against the Russians. Putin accuses Ukraine of developing biological weapons near Russian border.
На Украине действовала и сеть из десятков лабораторий, где под руководством и при финансовой поддержке Пентагона проводились военно-биологические программы.
What is the point of these horror stories? When you are afraid of something, you want to protect yourself from it. In this case, propaganda manipulates a rather simple logic. Ukraine is supposedly a threat to Russia, so it must be destroyed. In other words, this is one of the justifications for Russia's attack on Ukraine. How does the scaremongering about the threat of a biological attack work? As we have already understood, propaganda manipulates fear. Let's take this story as an example.
Мы не просто так пришли, а нас натолкнул документ, который мы нашли в Рубежанской санитарной станции. Это лист, это письмо сопровождения к 57-й бригаде. Видно, что им ни год, ни два.
On critical analysis, the evidence presented by the propagandists falls apart. 1. An abandoned barn nobody knows where. 2. Several blue canisters. 3. A pair of insect wings. 4. A man in a balaclava. 5. A piece of paper saying that this is the work of the Americans. Well, and is it actually possible to program an insect to kill somebody? Unlikely. However, after a bad-caused COVID-19 epidemic, people became suspicious of the combination of animal and laboratory in the same sentence. By inventing killer locusts, killer mosquitoes and fighter pigeons, Russian propaganda manipulates this fear. The Russians have not hesitated to spread such falsehoods, even from the UN podium. Russia's permanent representative Vasily Nebenzia claimed the existence of special mosquitoes that fly on drones and hunt exclusively for Russian soldiers. Such a drone transports a container with a large number of mosquitoes, carrying infections to an area, and releases them. When biting, mosquitoes infect people with special and dangerous diseases. Even if we imagine this unbelievable scenario, a simple fact makes it impossible. How do mosquitoes distinguish friend from foe by nationality? As the US permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield aptly observed, much like Russia, birds and bats do not tend to observe or respect sovereign borders. So the Ukrainians themselves would definitely not agree to the creation of such weapons. Ukraine is simply too close to Russia. Why does Russia need these fictions about Ukrainian biolabs? In fact, this is not the first time that Russia has used such fakes against a country it is at odds with. Throughout the history of modern Russia, countries such as Georgia, Kazakhstan, Poland, Moldova, Romania, the Baltic states and others have been accused of having biolabs that produce terrible weapons. In addition, Russian propaganda successfully uses fictitious victories over non-existent labs as an achievement of the Russian army. In fact, it is Russia that has been caught in the proven and documented cases of using biological and chemical weapons against its enemies. The world did not believe the Russians' blatant lies this time either. But this is not the first or last time Russia lies. Propaganda is a weapon of the aggressor. It works around the clock to create more and more falsehoods. And in this information war, only critical thinking can save us.